Welcome everybody, Cal here, back the show where we take a look at a horror movie, and this is a first for us, Peter, because last time we talked about Gremlins and we enjoyed it so much we thought we'll just move right on to the second one. So here we are, Gremlins 2.
A new batch, and it certainly is.
Absolutely fantastic. The first one certainly has like its zaniness to it, but this is just another universe. The most absolutely bizarre jokes and gags like I've ever seen in a film. It's a parody of the first movie in a way, which I've never seen a sequel do.
They actually critique it, don't they? They have the film guy with the Gremlins 1 video.
Yeah.
Pulling it to bits, moaning about it.
And that's an actual reviewer who like hated the first movie and he brought him in to get killed by a grandma, which I love.
So I'm taking it, James, that you loved this movie.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't? Okay, let's talk about it.
I'm going to be grumpy old fart. I enjoyed it. It was fun. You know, it was silly. It certainly, well, it still had horror elements to it, I guess, like the first one. But it felt to me, as you just described, really, that the silliness and the zaniness and the madness, it just dialed right up.
No, absolutely.
It was like maddeningly silly at times.
I mean, we even opened with like a Looney Tunes sketch at the very start.
What the shit was that all about?
Warner Brothers, why not? Like,
yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, and that's even in the credits as well. You have like Daffy coming in, like, oh, you're still watching and all, which is fun. A little bit of background about it. Obviously, the first Gremlins was incredibly successful. Warner Brothers wanted a sequel pretty much immediately. Joe Dante, who was the first film's director, didn't want to make like a cash grab. I don't really want to. Eventually, he agreed to make a sequel, given that he had full creative control. And I think this was one person's
madness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he in some kind of asylum now? Then is he?
He's married to the lady Gremlin, I think, isn't he? Like settled down.
Yeah. That was sinister at the end. That took a dirty turn.
What do you think of the setting? I love the New York, very Home Alone-esque as well, where the first movie's in this kind of little town and then on to like the Big Apple. I just thought it was really fun. The kind of parody of late 80s New York businessmen was good fun. Clamp is, kind of a take on like Donald Trump and Trump Tower, which I thought was great. He's obsessed with metallic. How the building just doesn't work, like the revolving door just like spits people out of it. I thought it was a good gag.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. And it sold us straight away because I love the actor who plays the kind of the Donald Trump figure. He was Lex Luthor in Smallville. Not Lex Luthor, Line Luthor, yeah.
Yeah, John Glover.
And he was tremendous in that.
Yeah, he also voices the Riddler in the Batman animated series. Fantastic actor. So he was great. I love that he's not, the opening of the movie kind of sets him up to be the villain of it, but he's not. He's just sort of a little bit of an asshole, but he comes out of the movie like a better person at the end, which I thought was nice.
He's obliviously rich, isn't he? If things don't bother him because he's probably never had to deal with stuff. I mean, there's a great scene, I think, halfway through where he's getting excited because he's going to shred some correspondence.
Some documents, yeah.
That's the excitement of his day,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. So I like that character. I think he's very cool.
Gizmo certainly has like a better, like the animatronics have come a long way, I think, from the first one. He looked incredible in the first movie. In this one, we're seeing him moving around quite a lot more, I think.
Again, it's going to be the same complaint I've got as the first film, and trying to remember that this is a movie of its time. Practical special effects look absolutely phenomenal. Gizmo's face, his emotion, everything is amazing. The second you step away from that and start trying to do a bit of CGI and stuff like that, I mean, the dancing on the desk bit looked pretty ropey.
I completely disagree. I thought the dancing looked fantastic in it.
My wife burst out laughing at that point.
Seriously?
It looked, yeah.
No, I like that. I thought that was a fun sequence. I love the Rambo thing. I think that's fantastic. There wasn't enough of that. I feel like his segment in the movie throughout the entire thing should have been like a John McClane Rambo. He's tackling different groups of gremlins, but we only really get that one bit where he kills the spider.
I think, again, very similar to the first one, Gizmo isn't the star of the show. Do you know what I mean? There's a big build-up, he gets wet, he kind of disappears for a lot of it and then just appears at the end. So it's a shame that you don't get more of Gizmo, I think. I enjoyed the bit with the bandana and the bow and arrow and all that kind of stuff.
Just come to the rescue. It's always my favorite, just hero Gizmo. There's a lot of like meta jokes I really wasn't expecting in this. Like obviously we talked about the kind of the review of the first movie, which just breaks the entire universe. I thought a brilliant gag, and I would have loved to have been in the cinema when this happened, like in the like opening weekend, where the film reel like gets destroyed and it's the Gremlins, and then it cuts out to a cinema and people are complaining, and then Hulk Hogan just shows up and starts screaming at the Gremlins.
But again, you see, it sounds, and it felt, if I'm honest, watching it last night, a bit hokey, a bit kind of, oh, come on, tongue-in-cheek. But back in the day, when this came out, that would have been probably very fresh and very, I bet that hadn't happened much in the cinema.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very ahead of its time, I feel, like that kind of a meta joke, like we get it nowadays with like your Deadpools and stuff like that, but I feel like, 1990 wouldn't have been very common at all. My favorite gag in the movie is where Phoebe Cates is talking, someone mentions...
I knew you'd like that. Yeah.
Someone mentions Abe Lincoln and she starts going into this another really sad story about her childhood, and Zach Galligan's just like, we don't have time for this, let's move on. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Yeah,
I love the fact that she kind of almost, steps forward to look towards the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Really fun, self-aware kind of moment. I thought was great to have her back, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of having people back, I could have done without the racist neighbour who I thought got killed in the first film. And then he's back now with his wife for a tour of New York. That was unnecessary for me. I'd rather that they just weren't in it.
I would have just rather more Gremlin stuff or more Gizmo stuff instead of that, I think. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
The other one, sorry, which was great, just talking meta stuff, the bat sign. I loved that. That was very cool.
Because this would have been the year after Batman 89. That was a great fun kind of nod. I was like, oh, that's funny. This is just a live action cartoon, like even more so than the first movie. And I'm here for it, Good to have Billy back as well. A lot of the time in sequels, you see the core couple break up between movies and then it's them coming back together. I like that they're just together at the start and that they're like talking about getting married. I thought that's nice. We've evolved from that, It's not usual for sequels at the time.
Interesting kind of stereotypes of the woman that he's working with, the redhead, constantly smoking, almost sexually abusive, because she touches
sticks her foot in his crotch. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
It was a bit rough, but yeah.
What's with the vampire host? I thought that was a really random element to throw in there.
So I forget the guy's name as well, but I certainly got, and again, it might just be my old ears, but when he was on at the start, I got Fright Night vibes. I got Peter Vincent kind of vibes when he was filming his show and stuff.
I got a little bit of that as well. I hated the photographer guy. I think he's supposed to be a Japanese tourist.
Yeah, horrendously stereotypical.
Yeah, just like pointing awful. Phoebe Cates to stand at things to take photos and stuff. I love that he's not a good videographer as well. Like when he's taking over the TV cameras, he's terrible. He's like too far zoomed in and everything. I thought that was really funny.
Stunning special effects. At the end where the Gremlins die, it's just gory. And also when they're giving birth to the other Gremlins, popping off the backs and stuff. Superb effects.
Incredible, I think, for 1990. Absolutely. Yeah. Really happy with a Christopher Lee appearance in this. I wasn't expecting that, and I'm like, oh wow, I love seeing him. Dr. Cushing catheter. Yeah. So a nod to Peter Cushing and then just a catheter as the last thing. Why does this business like real estate mogul have like a gene splicing lab in his building,
Yeah, just crazy. And like he says at one point, they could have had, was it 2 psychologists and a therapist on that floor or something? But a great scene. And obviously that's the bit that allows you to have the fun with the Gremlins.
Exactly. I think very clever plot point, I think, to say, okay, well, they're just drinking different things and we can make any Gremlin we want to. On that topic, I have a little breakdown of just some of the Gremlins that appear in this movie. So Brain Gremlin, which is like the smart Gremlin that talks. Loved him. Fantastic. I love how drinking the thing gives him glasses.
Yeah, he just kind of appears, doesn't he, with the glasses on.
Yeah, brilliant. Bat Gremlin we talked about. Great one. Lady Gremlin. Now, I don't know if... I just imagine this, but my entire life I thought it was a hooker gremlin, but it's not. It's just a lady gremlin.
That's terrible how you view them.
I'm pretty sure I referenced in the last video that hooker gremlin in the second one, but it's not. It's just a lady. A promiscuous lady, but
yeah, provocative.
Yes.
Big red lips and things. And all that kind of stuff. It's a bit...
Yeah, I don't know why. I imagine like there was a bit where someone's walking down the street and she's like on the corner or something. It's like, no, there's nothing like that in this.
80s kids film. Let's have a few prostitutes.
I mean, it wouldn't feel out of place in this, really, would it? Like, yeah. There's a bit in Home Alone where he walks past some hookers, so like, yeah, why not? Yeah. Flasher Gremlin returns, delighted. My favorite Gremlin. Vegetable Gremlin.
Why not? And the best bit for Vegetable Gremlin for me is when they're having the drinks later on and someone pulls an olive off them and puts it in the...
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't spot that. That's funny.
Yeah. Plucked him on an olive off him. I thought that was quite cool.
I like that, yeah.
I don't really feel I had like a main bad guy Gremlin in this. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't one that stood out as the ringleader.
Should have been the Brain one. He should have been like the kind of the overarching villain of the movie. I think that would have been fun. Like the nemesis for Gizmo. I don't think he even meets Gizmo in the movie.
No, I don't think he does.
No. You have like the bit where Gizmo gets captured. He could be like delivering monologues and stuff like that. That would have been fun. Electricity Gremlin. Sure, why not? Yeah, we just have bolts of lightning shooting around. Why not? There's also the googly-eyed one that you see as the Mogwai that comes out, which like just to look stupid. It's like, all right.
I mean, that's its entire purpose, isn't it?
Oh yeah, stupid as fuck. Yeah. Another one of my favorites that I loved, you only see him a couple times in the Gremlin of the Opera. So like there's a bit where there's a bit where he just gets acid chucked in his face and then pulls the mask up, and then later on he's doing the music. I thought that was just so random and stupid and hilarious. Like,
and you get what you liked from the first film. You get gremlins with guns on a number of occasions.
You do, yeah, absolutely, shooting Uzis and everything, and like they have like bazookas and all. Like it was good.
There's the one as well who the brain gremlin, when he's interviewing the other gremlin and he shoots the guy in the face just because it's fun.
They're like end of days as if they get out of the building. I think that's fun. But I would love to see like New York gets taken over by Gremlins story. Like I don't think they would have had the budget for this, even though the budget for this was significantly bigger than the first one. We couldn't have had that back then, but I would love to see that. I think if we get around to a third one. So a little bit of trivia about the movie. The janitor is played by John Aston, who was the original Gomez Adams in the Addams Family. So that was fun. I like to see him. I was like, oh no, I love him.
I recognized him as soon as I saw him. I thought, yeah, that was cool.
The film is the basis for a Key and Peele sketch. Now I asked you to watch this before we came on. I love this sketch. For anyone who hasn't seen it, Jordan Peele plays the sequel doctor, and he comes in and he just goes around the writer's room of Gremlins 2 and just saying like everybody gets to make a gremlin, and they all start pitching them, and it just gets more and more ridiculous.
Lipstick, boobies, bitch, you had me and little gremlin but JJ.
That's one of the best sketches from Key and Peele, I think.
Because it's real. Do you know what I mean? It makes absolute sense, because that's exactly what probably bloody happened. It's just madness. Where these things come from, or the link to them.
Yeah, just electricity gremlin. You just said noun and gremlin, you know? You didn't really give this much thought, but it's going in the movie. Yeah. And then the gag at the end is like all of this is actually in the movie. It's fun. So yeah, I love that one.
Worth watching.
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant. And lastly, the opening aerial shots of New York are recycled footage from Superman 4: Quest for Peace.
Oh, that's a dog shit movie as well.
Isn't it? Yeah. What do you mean as well? You calling this movie dog shit? How dare you?
No, it's not dog shit. No, it's gremlin shit. No, Superman 4 is dreadful. I didn't realise that.
So the future of this franchise, there is a third film supposedly in development. Chris Columbus finished a script in 2017, and it deals with the question, is Gizmo too dangerous to be kept alive? And I think that's a reasonable thing.
I mean, I can answer that now. Yes, of course. Every movie, he literally says, oh, hello, and then all of a sudden there's water on him.
How many times does this have to happen before you go, let's
shoot it in the face, just kill it. Yeah.
The only other information we have is that it's not going to have any CGI in it, or minimal CGI. It's going to be mostly animatronics.
I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long. I mean, was the second movie not a success financially?
No, not as much as the first one was. And Joe Dante had said he thinks it was too long between the movies. So like it was six years or something. So like, yeah, the first one was at the time the third highest grossing Warner Brothers movie, and the second one made a quarter of it less.
Yeah, it's because it was too long between movies. Nothing to do with having a friggin' vegetable gremlin, is it?
That's a reason to see this movie, because I would imagine coming out of it and telling my friend this is in it and that's in it and you should go see it. Like, I don't think that's the problem with it anyway. The only other thing from the series is a couple of video games, and then there was an animated series last year, I think, called Secrets of the Mogwai, which is set in the 1920s, and it shows how the old man in the Chinatown store got Gizmo.
Do I think there's more Gizmo type things out there, Mogwais out there, or is he a lone creature? Because we've never really explored that, have we?
I'd imagine there is, because he knows like about them, he knows the lore of them and stuff, so they are like a creature from, I think it would be interesting in like another movie to have like another Mogwai come into it. Like, I assume like there's tons of them. He's spawned from another one, that spawned from another one, you know. Any final thoughts on Gremlins 2?
You know what, just a fun movie, I think. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the first movie because it went too silly for me, but it's still fun. Do you know what I mean? I still enjoyed watching it. Would I class it as a horror? Absolutely not. I think there are a couple of scary scenes in it, but I don't think it's a horror by any stretch. It's just a bit of a silly bit of fun, really. A silly jaunt.
I loved it. Balls to the wall, the entire thing, every second of it. I absolutely loved it. I don't know if I would say which of the two movies I prefer. I think there's a valid argument for one being your favorite over the other. It's a fantastic follow-up, just so bizarre.
I think, the sign of a good movie for me is, do I want more? And after watching Gremlins 2, absolutely. I'd certainly watch more in this universe, and I'm shocked that we've not had another film, to be honest. It's so well loved, It's so
absolutely. Yeah, I'm really hoping we eventually get it, and I hope it's not sanitized. I hope it's has that kind of edge that these movies have, like where they're not quite kids, not quite adults. Like, it'll be good to see. Is it better than Willy's Wonderland?
Yes.
It
is.
Okay, thank you.
It is
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Grand. And that's I'll be right back on Gremlins 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the channel where we do One Good Scare live every second Friday, and we'll be right back next time with
He loves me.
Spend this Valentine's Day
He loves me not.
with someone you love,
He loves me.
someone you trust.
He loves me not.
And someone you know
He loves me.
won't try to kill you.
Never, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.